Exclusive. Inside Andrew and Fergie's bizarre last Christmas blowout in Royal Lodge whilst King Charles and the rest of the senior royals celebrate the festive season together at Sandringham, Andrew Mountbatten Windsor has been cast out of the fold. Experts warn Andrew's goose is finally cooked. They don't mean th bird he'll be eating during his lonely Christmas. King Charles and the rest of the royal family are celebrating at Sandringham, but the disgraced former Duke won't be anywhere near the festivities this year, as he and his ex-wife, Sarah Ferguson, find themselves firmly cast out of the royal fold. One expert believes there is no way back for the pair, who were stripped of their titles earlier this year amid ongoing scrutiny over their ties to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Whilst neither Andrew nor Sarah is exactly a stranger to scandal, the royal family are likely to continue distancing themselves from the former couple. And it's been a long time coming, the expert claimed. With the release of the first tranche of Epstein files by the U.S. Justice Department, an already gloomy Christmas is likely going to be even more miserable for the former couple, who are vacating their royal mansion in the new year. Both Fergie and Andrew were amongst those pictured in the document dump, though being named or included in the photographs is not a sign of wrongdoing in itself. Some images published saw Fergie pictured with a woman whose identity had been redacted. U.S. official Shave said that the documents were heavily redacted to protect the identities of victims, who have the right to anonymity. One photo that was published saw Epstein and his former girlfriend, Ghislaine Maxwell, in the countryside near the royal family's favorite hideaway, Balmoral. Another saw Andrew lying across the laps of a group of women, whose identities were redacted, with Maxwell standing behind them smiling. This image appears to have been snapped in the saloon at Sandringham, another reminder of just how welcomed the pair were into inner royal sanctums by the former prince. Andrew Lowney, who wrote a blistering biography of Andrew and Sarah entitled The Rise and Fall of the House of York, explained that even though the former prince has been banned from the traditional royal Christmas celebrations before, this year presents a marked difference in King Charles' approach. In 2023, Andrew and Sarah attended the annual Walkabout the Royals undertake on their way to church, but last year they were struck from the invite list amid controversy over Andrew's ties to an alleged Chinese spy. Yang Tengbo has denied that he is a spy, but Andrew was reportedly dubbed a national security risk over the pair's connection. This is much more serious than last year, Lowney explained. Just the wealth of material that's come out both in my book, in Virginia Giuffre's book, and all the political stuff from Epstein, his goose is finally really cooked here. Discussing the decision to keep Andrew away last year, Lowney said that in his view it was a precautionary move, I think just to distance themselves, but now, you know, he's lost his titles, he's out of Royal Lodge, this has now got slightly serious. They should have done this years ago, but at least they've done it now. In Lowney's opinion, there is no doubt about the fact that Andrew is permanently outside the royal fold, though duetto Sarah's skill for personal reinvention, she might yet make inroads with the public. He's definitely out, Lowney said. I mean, look at the difference, he's a commoner now. Last year, they didn't invite him to Sandringham, I mean, so what, he was still a prince. Still in the Royal Lodge, that's all change. I think his reputation has been trashed, and Sarah Ferguson's reputation is pretty much at an all-time low. She may well pop back because she has this gift for reinventing herself, but I think he's toast. It isn't just King Charles who might distance themselves from toxic Andrew and Sarah, with Lowney noting that even the pair's daughters, Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie, seem poised to do so to some extent. It has been reported that Beatrice has jetted out of the country with her husband, Edoardo Mappelli Mozzi, and some pals to avoid having to choose between spending Christmas with her disgraced parents or her uncle, Charles, with whom she is known to be close with. Beatrice doesn't want to cause any embarrassment and was torn between loyalty to the king and her parents, a source told The Sun, adding, it was easier to go off with friends. Beatrice and her sister Eugenie are seemingly caught in the middle, with both reported to be swerving spending Christmas with their parents at Royal Lodge one last time. However, the sisters did attend Charles' annual celebration for the extended House of Windsor last week in London, snapped smiling in the car on their way there. while a downcast Andrew went for a gloomy horse ride by himself. Body language specialist Judy James told the Mirror that Andrew had seemingly gone full on Marley's ghost in the images of his lonely ride. Teeth gritted and eyes fixed ahead to suggest a determination to soldier on here, despite the rain that is equally determined to make him look like a sodden figure of solitary dejection on his horse, the expert said, adding that this wasn't necessarily the best way to ensure his daughters enjoyed their Christmas family lunch without feeling any trace of guilt. Lowney told the Mirror about the solo horse ride. He's clearly sending out a message. He is beginning to try and play the victim. The author pointed out that last year Beatrice did attend the royal festive celebrations at Sandringham, even though her parents were not invited, saying she knows which side her bread is buttered on. With signals that the two princesses, who retained their titles even though their parents did not, might be distancing themselves from Andrew and Fergie, in the biographer's opinion, I think we are going to see the fracturing of this supposedly very close family. Andrew and Fergie are both poised to move out of Royal Lodge next year, with Andrew giving up his lease at the same time his brother Charles unceremoniously stripped him of his royal titles and styles amid the ongoing public outcry over his connection to Epstein, and the allegations of sexual assault made against them by Virginia Giuffre back in the spotlight with the publication of her posthumous memoir in October. Andrew has consistently and vehemently denied Giuffre's claims. For the 20 years Andrew has lived in the palatial 30-room home near Windsor Castle, he has never failed to decorate for the festive season, but this year it's claimed he hasn't bothered at all, becoming something of a Grinch. The Sun reports that Andrew has not placed the usual 2 wreaths on the exterior of his home, and he has also not set up the Christmas tree that usually impresses visitors. Despite the lack of Christmas spirit, in some ways things are business as usual. Nothing has changed inside Royal Lodge, a source said. The butler still sees your Royal Highness, and the staff still bow. Andrews made it clear, palace rules don't apply inside his walls. He insists it's his birthright, not something the king can erase. In Lowney's bombshell book, an inside source was quoted as saying that Andrew is pretending that everything is good when he subconsciously knows that things are really bad. The former staff member also alleged that above everything, losing his titles has been the biggest blow for Andrew, even more so than the accusations of sexual assault made against him. Which Denis remember, the most difficult thing for the Duke of York was not the allegations of sexual misconduct. It was being stripped of his royal titles and losing his key role with the royal family. He's never gotten over this, the source claimed. Some experts believe that Fergie and Andrew will take the opportunity of staying at Royal Lodge over the Christmas season one last time to throw one last big party, with the commentators claiming that, despite their disgrace, the pair still have a plenty of pals who have stuck with them for decades. A source speaking to The Standard speculated that attendees if the former couple hosted a festive bash could include at least one psychic. I think they'll rustle up a junior shake. Hell be very confused about all of it. And then there'll be a sort of businessman who's desperately trying to get Andrew's business affairs on an even keel so he can at least afford a single house. Lowney told Cosmopolitan, they've got friends. There are friends that go back a long way, and have stuck with them. A party away from prying eyes at Royal Lodge would paint a stark contrast to how the former couple used to get into the festive spirit. Back in 2014, Andrew and Sarah were spotted living at L'Arjat, a pub in Surrey, with Fergie donning a skater-style Santa dress and matching hat to mark the holiday. She, Andrew, and daughter Beatrice were spotted getting into the party mood together, leaving locals thrilled at the Fox and Hound in Inglefield. Fergie looked fantastic and it was obvious she has a newfound confidence. Andrew and Fergie were singing along to the entertainment and they were dancing to the music. It was a real royal shindig, said one source at the time. They added, no one was expecting royalty to drop in, but it was just an incredible night. The family watched live music, and Fergie chatted away with a couple of young men who were wearing novelty festive hats. Fergie and Andrew are said to live in different parts of the lavish mansion, but they come together to eat dinner and discuss their plans for the future. They are both spending a lot of time alone, a source told The Sun. Andrew rarely goes out and has been padding around the lodge and ranting and muttering. For her part, Fergie is said to be struggling amid the ongoing scandal, and while Andrew has been wandering around the property ranting to himself, she has been pouring her heart out to pals and staff in the Doghouse, a private bar behind the property. Despite remaining close after their divorce, the pair are finally going their separate ways. Andrew will be moving to a property on the Sandringham estate, reportedly Marsh Farm, a bog-surrounded ramshackle group of buildings that is in need of renovation, about 7 miles from the main house. Meanwhile, Sarah has been tipped to have a couple of options, including an annex at her daughter Beatrice's Cotswolds home, or a suite at Eugenie's Portugal mansion. They used to dub themselves the happiest divorced couple in the world, but no longer. These days, things between Andrew and Sarah are reported to be far more tense. I'm told Andrew is very low and struggling with the idea of packing up and leaving Royal Lodge. His and Sarah's relationship is, for the first time, very fractured, explains royal expert Katie Nicholl, speaking to The Standard. Beatrice and Eugenie are still in close contact with Mum Fergie, the expert claimed, but things are altogether more frosty with their father Andrew, with the sisters refusing to be photographed with him amid the ongoing controversy. The girls have distanced themselves somewhat from their father. They will not be photographed with Andrew and have not been back to Royal Lodge of late. They are in constant touch with their mother, with whom they remain very close. There's a sense of being shell-shocked at the heart of their family, and it's been a very tough year for them all, Nicholl said.